and good morning, PWIN community. Hello, Facebook family and friends. It's your girl, Empowerment Life Coach, Sharice L. Irby Castle. And I'm so excited to be with you here today for Self-Care Saturday. Yes! Love Self-Care Saturdays. Let's get back into the saddle. Today's a very busy day. There's so many events going on. I am actually getting ready to run out myself. I just want to give huge congratulations to the WOMAX. They have a phenomenal mind, body, and soul conference that's taking place. There's just so many things. I think Urban Soup has a pitch session that's going on today. So there's just absolutely lots that's happening. But let's jump into Self-Care Saturday. So I am just going to share really quick while people are joining. I see people coming on. Thank you for joining. I'm just going to share this out quickly. Please share. We're going to talk about being on point today. And like I said, I won't be long, so I'm going to jump right into the meat of what I want to talk about today and then get everybody out. So I am just sharing this and we are going to get going. So if you will share right along with me, I am glad to be back with Self-Care Saturday. Thank you, Cynthia. Kisses. Thank you so much, sister. I appreciate that. Look, God is absolutely amazing, and so I want to be able to represent him in all that he has blessed me with. And so, you have to be able to get up and put your face on and do what you need to do. And that's what we're doing on today. So thank you for hanging in here with me. I just wanted to share on a couple of my other platforms, and we are getting ready to go. So I said on point. So here's today's message for Self-Care Saturday. When I was in Arkansas, I learned so much about my background, about my legacy, about everything that, hello, James. Thank you for joining. I learned so much about my legacy and about my forefathers and foremothers. And so one of the things, I was talking with one of my uncles, and he was like, you were destined. He was like, I follow you on Facebook, and you're speaking here and you're speaking there, and I see your books and just all the great things that you're doing. And he's like, I am just so proud of you. He was like, but I want you to know that, it's not by accident. We got a lot of preachers in our bloodline. We have a lot of speakers. We have a lot of community activists. We have a lot of people who are movers and shakers in that same field that you're in. And so he was like, so, it's not by accident that you're doing what you're doing. And of course, we were there for the celebration of life with my father, but that just kept resonating in my mind. And so I said, that's going to be a Self-Care Saturday. But first of all, some of you heard me talk about, here's our family memoir book. I talked about this a few days ago when I went back home. My family, they have done an amazing job of putting together our memoirs. Look how thick this book is. Is this not phenomenal? And so it has our, great grandfather and, how they came from South Carolina to the land of opportunity, Arkansas, and scouted out the land, and they went back and got the family, and each family line has a chapter. Here's the Irbies. You see that? Irbies. And then it talks all about our family. And so it's just amazing. I am just so thankful that, my family had the wherewithal to put this memoirs book together and that it's available, because your history is so rich and so valuable. And so back to the lesson for today that touched me is that a lot of times we think that where we are is by happenstance. Oh, I went to school. I did this, I did that. And yes, we all have choices, But how many of you know that it's about the bloodline? How many of you know that somebody, your great-great-grandmother, grandfather, somebody has prayed for you? Generations ago, they were praying for us. They were praying for generations to come to be able to carry on the legacy, to be able to do great and magnificent and marvelous things. Generations they were praying forward would be successful and would be abundant and would live abundant lives and would touch the masses. You know, reading my history, I could see where my foremothers and forefathers, they were out toiling and tilling their land. They were building up churches. They were deacons. They were over the mission. They were helping people. They were about their business. They were a self-contained community. No wonder why entrepreneurship runs in my veins. I look back and, you know, they came into that Happy Bend area. They built up a whole community. They built their schools. They built their stores. They raised all of their own food. They were self-contained. It's in the bloodline. We have choices to make, but isn't it good news that you made choices that caused you to be right on point with the calling on your life? You made choices that were right in line with your destiny, with your promise. You made choices that align with the prayers that went out over you. The prayers that you would be fruitful and multiply. The prayers that you would be the head and not the tail. The prayers that you would be self-contained. The prayers that you would be the generation that would change things. You would be the generation that would unleash a winning spirit. That you would be the generation that would do all the things that they couldn't do at that point in time. And I just bless God that I was able to go back and talk to my aunts and uncles and find out that I am right on point. I am right on track. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Tracy. Thank you for sharing. Please continue to share. But I am so overjoyed in the midst of tragedy, in the midst of something that was so hurtful, this blessing popped up that God took time out to be able to say, Sharice, you had your great-great-great-grandparents who prayed for you. They prayed that you would be willing to do what God has called you to do. They prayed that you would be willing to open your mouth, that you would be willing to be an example to others that have been in your situation, your circumstance, and going through the things that you're going through, that you would be transparent to share your testimony so that it would touch others and that they wouldn't necessarily have to go through everything that you went through. They prayed that I would write books. They prayed that I'd be a willing vessel. They prayed on my behalf. And here I am walking in the midst of those prayers. Know that somebody has been praying for you. And are you walking in the midst of those prayers? Are you on point to where you should be in your destiny, in your calling, in your purpose? Is it like fire shut up in your bones that you can't be contained and it has to be unleashed? You have no other choice but to follow your purpose. No other choice but to follow your destiny. No other choice but to follow the dream that has been alive in you, that has already been predestined for you, that somebody has already been praying on your behalf. Amen. Look, I am excited about it, as you can tell. It is something about your bloodline. It is something about what has been passed down to you through generations that you may not even know, that you may not even understand, that you don't know the propensity, you don't know the magnitude. And that's why no weapon formed against me or you shall prosper, because it has already been written. It has already been prayed. The shouts have already taken place. It has already been decreed and declared. And so no weapon can stop us. You know, it doesn't say that the weapons won't be formed. They are formed on a minute by minute basis. And I have to remind myself, Sharice, those weapons, they have been formed, but honey, they will not prosper. They will not overtake God's purpose, his plan for your life. They will not stand in between your destiny and where he has you going. So know that you are on point. Know that you are on point. And if you feel that you have kind of got sidetracked, that you've taken a detour, it is not too late to make those decisions to get you right back on track, because it's already in your blood. It's already in your blood. That's why it is so important as Christians that we understand our Christianity bloodline, that we understand that Jesus has already shed the blood, that the blood is covering us, and that there's power in the blood. So if there's power in the blood, there's power in your genealogy. There's power in your bloodline that passes through you, and you are able to stand victorious in that power. Yes, yes. It's been Self-Care Saturday. Please share this out. Hopefully you've been blessed. Talk to me. Let me know. Leave some comments. Share it with your family and friends. It may just be a little something that somebody needs to let them know confirmation that they are on point, that they are on track. And if they are off track, that it's not too late. They can make a decision today that will change their life. They can make a decision today that will continue to propel them into their purpose, into their destiny, into their passion, into the very place where they're supposed to be. Thank you for joining me on this Self-Care Saturday. Have a marvelous day, no matter what you're doing, where you're going. Make this a wonderful, blessed,